Hey, rhinoCRUNCH here today, bringing you a timeless battle between two titans. That's right, the AK47 versus the M4, or, well, in this case, the LR300. Today we're going to be discussing the LR300 and how it squares up against the AK47. We will look at recoil, spread, bullet drop, damage values, and rate of fire. We will be doing a side-by-side comparison of each, and then I'll give you guys my overall thoughts and opinion of this new addition to Rust. But before we do, I have a couple quick announcements. First of all, you're probably wondering what this gorgeous artwork is and who made it. This is art by Tatten, the same guy that did Fado82's channel art. Some of you may recognize this place. It's Fort Final. It was basically an endgame base, which me, Bo, Scud, Sequisha, Zambi, and a few others built almost a year ago on a vanilla server. The game has changed so much since then, but this art captures a time when it was the most fun for me to not only stream and record, but just overall feeling of Rust. It was a blast. It was one of the best times I had in Rust, and this artwork captures it perfectly. And it actually has a fictional raid that never happened. The base ended up getting wiped on the server wipe, which sucks. I'll post a link in the description for a base tour of Fort Final. You guys can check that out if you haven't seen it. Now, also, I know Tatten may be familiar since he did Fado82's channel art, and he also did some concept art for Rust. If you guys would like to see more of his work and maybe commission him for yourself, links in the description on how to see his portfolio and how to get a hold of him as well. I will also post a high-res image in the description of this so you guys can download it, use it as a screensaver, or use it as a desktop background, whatever you want to do. I got it printed as a poster for my office, and it looks fucking incredible. There's pictures of it on my Instagram. So anyways, now, what you've all been waiting for. The LR300 versus the AK47. The LR300 is a gas-operated assault rifle made in America. In Rust, though, it has a 30-round capacity and uses any of the 5.56 variant ammo. It can also use any of the attachments in the game like the optics, muzzle mods, laser, sight, and silencer. This gun can only be found in loot crates, airdrops, and attack helicopters. It cannot be crafted, however, it can be repaired if it is broken. Because of this, it comes with only one default blacked out skin. It uses a default BIS or backup iron sights that constrict your field of view similar to the Tommy. AK-47. The AK-47 or assault rifle in Rust is also capable of 30-round 5.56 variant, as well as being fitted with any of the aforementioned mods. Unlike the 300, the assault rifle can be crafted. It too can also be found in the helicopter, airdrop, and loot crates. It also has multiple skins that can be used and uses the default iron sights that are more open than the BIS sights on the LR300. So let's put these bad boys next to each other and see how they square off. First, we're going to test the recoil and grouping pattern. And as you can see from the grouping, the 300 definitely keeps a consistent grouping with the majority of the hits to be center or drag to the right a bit. The AK, however, as you can see, has a much more wider range of hits all over the board. So far, the AK recoil and grouping seems to be a little more difficult to control and hit, at least on full auto. So let's put some scopes on these and see how they do at long-range targets. So the AK seems to be pretty consistent at keeping its travel time with very little drop-off on the range targets. The LR300, however, remains consistent at mid-range but starts to lose a tremendous amount of accuracy at long distances. It is incredible how off these bullets are hitting when aiming at the same spot on the target with the 300. Now let's see how they square up damage-wise. So as you can see from these stats, the AK clearly does more damage on all points. The 300 has less stopping power, enough to be marginal, but not by much. Those precious few points of extra damage could be the deciding factor in a firefight. Finally, let's look at the rate of fire. I will start the clock at the start of the first bullet depletion from the gun, and I will end it when the last bullet exits. Wow, isn't that crazy? Now, after doing this, I can't believe the results. They have the exact same rate of fire. So I couldn't figure out why I thought the 300 had an increased rate of fire until I slowed the audio down and looked a little bit closer. So let's play this again. Watch the muzzle flash on both of them. As you can see, the LR300 has much more muzzle flashes than the AK, but I don't think that was the only thing contributing to me thinking it had a faster rate of fire. Let's listen to the audio slowed down of the LR300. Now let's listen to the audio slowed down of the AK. You hear that? There's a much more bassier sound to the AK. That, along with the lack of muzzle flashes that it has, with the space between shots, make it appear to have a lesser rate of fire, but in reality, they are literally the same. Pretty crazy, huh? So if two people start firing on each other at the exact same time, hit the same exact body parts, the AK would win because it hits harder. So the main variable in firefights would be the spray control and where you hit your target and how many times. Now, after seeing all these stats, I must say that I was surprised by some of them. It seems like the LR300 is more effective at short to mid-range, but the AK has more stopping power. It sucks that I can't use my skins on the LR300, but it isn't a game breaker for me. However, if I do use the 300, I absolutely prefer it with a holo since the field of view is too constricting to make precision shots with fast target acquisition, at least for me. But the AK hitting harder is huge and could be the deciding factor for firefights. That being said, my verdict is the LR300, at least for me, is much more preferable since the gun has better grouping and less recoil, even though it doesn't hit as hard. I see the AK being more effective for mid to long range fights since it hits harder pound for pound, but it's all in preference. Also, the LR300 is new, there's a throwback to Legacy, and there's a bit of nostalgia feel to it. And I also like the variable animations of whipping the buttstock back or clearing the chamber as you pull the charging handle. Pretty fucking awesome. So what do you guys think? Were you surprised by the results of the stats for each gun? What do you prefer? Post in the comments your thoughts and make sure to like the video if you learned something new. I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace!